THY crew. Are you looking to discover your hidden why? Then take me up on this opportunity. It's a one-on-one complimentary coaching call valued at $250, where we chat and define your hidden why and the action steps that you can take to help living towards the life you truly desire. Guys, there's a limited amount of spaces available. What you can do is jump onto thehiddenwhy.com, go to the coaching tab, press the link, and then schedule a time that suits you. Would love to chat with you soon. This is episode 193, my book reflection.
You're listening to The Hidden Why with your host, Lee.
G'day gang, and welcome to this week's book reflection. This is the Hidden Why podcast, and my name's Lee Martinuzzi, aka the Hidden Why Guy, the number one guy to go to when you want to discover your why guy. My goal is to really inspire others and encourage people to live a life more true to themselves. I did a total backflip on how I thought I should have been living my life, and now I'm living a life with greater happiness, fulfillment, and freedom. I'm still on a path, but certainly it's a lot more true to myself than it has been, and that's what we're about here at The Hidden Why. I do this through the podcast here, I do it through my blogs, I do it through coaching and speaking as well. So guys, if you're really looking to unleash your life and live a life more true to yourself, then you're at the right place. Today is a book reflection, guys. I love reading books. I try and read a book a week, and I try not to put that pressure on myself, but I seem to be able to manage it pretty well. And I typically read non-fiction books, things that are going to inspire me, give me some more thoughts and more awareness, and help me just improve myself in whatever way they can so I can live this life that I truly desire. Guys, books are fantastic. Today's book is a really cool one. It's called The Big Five. It's by Dr. Sanjeev Chopra. Now, he's got a brother that you're probably quite familiar with, Deepak Chopra, who's got a couple of fantastic books out there as well. This book is just about 5 things that he says and he swears by that will help us live a longer life. I think it's a pretty cool read. It's pretty easy to read, and certainly my thoughts are held within this episode. Guys, I love reading books, and if you do too, I've got a deal with Audible. And you can jump onto thehiddenwhy.com and pick up 2 free books if you're not an Audible member already. Just go to thehiddenwhy.com and use the links within the show notes, or they're also on the side menu. So 2 free books, free trial, fantastic way to listen to more books as well. This might be one of them. I do put links to all the books in the Hidden Why podcast in the show notes. So if you want to support the show, certainly clicking the link and purchasing through Amazon does help the show as well. Guys, we are non-funded, so anything you can do to help would be great. And probably the best gift you can give me is just by sharing this episode or any of the other episodes that you love with your network of Facebook, Twitter, whatever you choose. Guys, that's it for my ramble. You'll enjoy more of my ramble with this book reflection on Dr. Sanjeev Chopra's book, The Big Five. Enjoy.
This is The Hidden Why, discussing ideas and thoughts on living life with passion and finding your hidden why, your reason, your purpose.
G'day crew, welcome to the Hidden Why podcast. Today's book reflection is a book by Sanjeev Chopra, Dr. Sanjeev Chopra. He has written a book recently called The Big Five, 5 simple things you can do to live a longer, healthier life. Love this read, number one, because it was just easy to breeze through and take out the gold from it. So it was certainly a book that I flicked through in a short amount of time. And there is gold in it, guys. There's certainly some things to be taken out. Hopefully in this reflection, I don't give away too much, but certainly want to just reflect on these 5 things and my thoughts on them, and certainly what I think it means to take this sort of advice on board as well, and how to best approach it. I think in life we need to keep an open and aware, an open mind. Yeah, we need to have that awareness about everything we have, and don't attach ourselves to any particular belief. Just because you think, for example, coffee is bad, it doesn't mean that it necessarily is. So you need to just remove that belief and have that openness to everything in life. And certainly I think reading this book, you need to have that as well. And it doesn't mean you need to take it on board and believe it, but you just need to be open to the thought of it. And that openness will allow you better ease in life, I think. It'll allow you to not hold on to anything as gospel truth too greatly, and that will remove some of the suffering that we have. Anyway, that's on a different topic, really. Today I want to talk about Dr. Sanjeev Chopra's book and the 5 needs. So he has 5 needs that he says that we can all do that will help us live a longer life. And I've reflected on each of these in more, maybe a little bit more detail in the show notes. So check those out at thehiddenwhy.com if you want to have a read of them. And certainly pick up the book and have a read of it. It's an easy book, as I said, to read through, and has some great bits of research in it as well that backs up a lot of what he's saying. Like anything, guys, research can back up what you want to say. And cannily, if there's an argument against what you're saying, there's probably research for that too. So it's easy, not easy, but I think there's going to be a sense of research out there to prove any point. And not saying that Dr. Chopra has done this at all, but certainly to say that there's maybe counter evidence out there as well. And again, this is why it's important to keep an open and conscious mind when it comes to this sort of stuff. 5 simple things to do to live a longer and healthy life. First of all, I'm always a bit wary when people say these are the 5 things that we could do to live a longer and healthy life. It's a very big call. There's probably many more things that we can be doing, and there obviously is, and Dr. Chopra says that in his book. These aren't the only things that we should be doing, but there's certainly 5 good things that we can be doing in his opinion. And again, it's his opinion, yeah? It's not necessarily going to work for all of us or be agreeable to all of us either. So I think that's really something to keep in mind. It's easy to take a book for its cover and its title and then just take that as gospel, There's so many things out there that say 7 things to do to live a happier life, blah, blah, blah. The thing is that our lives are so intricate and complex, and we're all so very different that what works for me won't necessarily work for the next person. And when it comes to health, we know that, there's cultures around the world that have very different ways of lifestyles that have, certainly healthy, long lives. And there's a few consistencies among them, I'm sure, but we know there's a lot of different elements too. So it's hard to say that we're all going to work the same way. So it's really important to keep that in life. And when anyone says these are the 5 things to do, I've got to ask myself the question. And there's a lot of research that perhaps still hasn't come about, that still hasn't been done, that might prove some of these things wrong. But look, I agree with most of them. I certainly do most of them. Let's have a look at them. So he talks about drinking coffee as number 1, taking vitamin D, number 2, exercising, number 3, eating nuts, number 4, and meditating, number 5. Now, I do all of those things, and I certainly believe that they're great. And I'm saying that because I do them. And prove me wrong if they're not. But I do them because through my experimentation, through actually experiencing it myself firsthand, that I find them beneficial. So number 1, coffee, and this is a good one, and I'll talk about it briefly. I'll talk about each one briefly, and then wrap it up. But coffee, certainly, it's a drug. It's like anything. You can get addicted to drugs. So if you drink coffee, you're going to get hooked. And I've heard people, my friend, he doesn't drink coffee anymore, or at least he doesn't do it as consistently as he did. He might allow himself the treat from time to time. But when he was stopping, he had these headaches, and that was just the release from the drug. So certainly coffee is a drug. And like any drug, you can get addicted to it. And Dr. Chopra doesn't hesitate to mention that as well. But there's lots of evidence that he shows in this that actually drinking coffee can help extend your life and can be actually quite beneficial for you. And there's a number of different things that he talks about in relation to this. But he says, that there's plenty of things that you can do. And drinking coffee is one of them that seems to be good for most people as far as extending their life or helping them live a healthier life. It does something to your circulation, your blood circulation, and your thermal dynamics. I don't know if I've got that right, but really, really important, and certainly can help your metabolism and other bits and pieces as well. So look, I do that. He says, if you drink it with milk or cream or sugar, then you're just really destroying any of the effects. And that's something that I did reflect on. And yes, I drink black coffee. And have sort of dabbled with black coffee on and off throughout the years, but now I'm back to drinking black coffee, inspired by his book, because I love to drink coffee, but certainly want to have the benefits and not the consequences with the other stuff that we mix with it. And that's like anything. Vitamin D, something that a lot of us are lacking. And, this is a vitamin that comes from our sun typically. Now, there's vitamins out there that you can take, vitamin D that you can take, supplements. Do your research and find which one's beneficial. But the research out there, and Dr. Chopra's research brings a lot of it in there as well. There's just so much research that says that we are mostly, as humans, lacking this vitamin, and it's a critical one in helping our immune systems, helping us live a healthy life. So I certainly take it, and I can feel the benefits of taking. I've taken vitamin D for the last year and a half or so, and certainly would say that it's one of the only ones that I like to take. I take magnesium as well, and I take vitamin C. But vitamin D is the ones that I'd love to take. Magnesium I do because it helps me with my muscles and stuff like that as well, so I feel there's benefits there. I used to take other vitamin Ds but got rid of them because I didn't feel the benefits from them, and just felt the good healthy diet, fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff like that can really give you a lot of the stuff that you need anyway. And people would argue against that. Maybe the more you take, the better you can perform. Not sure, but at the moment this helps me and it works fine. But as far as vitamin D goes, he looks at research done from northern parts of the world where there's not as much sunlight as some of the more sun-intensive parts, and the way they live their lives and the length they live their lives and how healthy they are as well. And certainly sort of goes to back up the vitamin D as an essential one. And there's plenty of research out there that says that we are lacking this one. He talks about exercising. Now, we all know exercising is good, but you know what? It's one of those things that I reflect on years ago when I was sort of starting in my transition into this new life that I've designed and created. And I used to exercise a lot. I could go swimming every morning, then try and go to the gym in the afternoon, but I'd still eat poorly, I'd eat rubbish foods and not take care of myself. So again, it's like, mixing sugar with your coffee or milk with your coffee. If you exercise but you still eat rubbish, it's not going to do a lick of difference, You've got to really think about that. But certainly he talks about exercising, talks about walking. He said in there that, walking, and this was nice for me actually because I just stopped jogging. But he says if you walk the same distance as you jog, you get the same benefits from that. Now, I don't know how true that is. He certainly points that it is, which was good because at the time my knees sort of been playing up and the impact of jogging isn't great for it. So I've started walking and doing the same distance, and that was just a nice, pleasing thought. But certainly exercising is something that we need to be doing. We need to keep our bodies moving, and the problem is with most of our workplaces these days, we don't do that. We become too stagnant in our movements. And I think that's really, really important. But, just because you exercise doesn't mean you can do whatever you want as far as what you put in there. Putting in what you put into your body is probably more important. But I think exercising certainly is a complementary thing that we need to be doing in life. He talks about eating nuts. Now, I love eating nuts, and, they're just so freaking delicious. I eat roasted nuts. And mainly the reason why is because I haven't really put in the effort to find raw nuts here in Japan yet. In Australia, while we were eating raw nuts, and they were delicious. It's easy to say that roasted nuts are tastier, but if you eat raw nuts, you can actually find the beauty in them as well. So eating nuts, and he says go nuts on eating nuts. I actually asked one of my friends who's a nutritionist, a practicing nutritionist. She's in Australia there. And I said, how much should I be eating? What's good and bad? And she sort of said, gave me some few tips and pointers. But certainly, his point is that if you eat, a few too many, then it's not going to be detrimental. But certainly they can provide a lot of benefits to you as well. So I think it's, like anything, keeping it a little bit in balance. But certainly eating nuts, man, that's what I do now when I need that snack. I just have some nuts. And sometimes I start my morning off by having a nice breakfast, and then I have a late sort of lunch, early dinner. And then throughout the day, I just graze on some nuts that seem to give me the energy I need to get through. And the final one is meditating, guys. It's unbelievable what meditating can do. Don't go into it with an expectation that you're going to suddenly become more enlightened or wise. I think the expectation you go into is just, give it that time that it deserves, and you'll feel the benefits from it as you work through it. Meditating I'm using Headspace at the moment. I'm doing a little bit of chanting as well that I've read about recently and interviewed a couple of people about. So I'm sort of incorporating that into it. But man, I had a really good experience this morning, and it really does just ground you and bring you back to where you need to be in life. So yeah, I certainly would claim it. He says it's one thing he's done for the last 30 years and he wouldn't change it for the world. That's Dr. Chopra in his book. So that is the big five, guys. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Reach out to me at thehiddenwhy.com and let me know your comments on these 5 things. Certainly pick up the book. I think it's a worthy read. There's a lot more insight to it than I've just mentioned here. So there's that. And also have a look at my show notes for me at thehiddenwhy.com. Have a read through those if you're get a bit of time. Guys, if you do have time, and if you've loved this show, just share it with your network. You can use the Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc., the platforms there to share it on your networks. And share the love. That'd be awesome. That's it from me today, guys. I'm going to cut my book review there. I think I've given plenty of enough today. And until next time, peace, passion, and purpose. See you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Hidden Why podcast, where it's all about living life with passion. For all the latest news and updates, please subscribe online to thehiddenwhy.com.
There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's book reflection. Hope it inspires you to go out and pick up this book, maybe another book. Just get reading. It's really cool. It's one of my favourite pastimes. I know a lot of you listening probably enjoy it too. You can always pick up some gold nuggets. Guys, that's it for me today. You know what to do. Go out there and breathe more passion into every moment you have. Do everything with greater purpose, and in doing so, discover your hidden why. This is The Hidden Why. My name's Lee Marnuzzi, signing out. Love you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Hidden Why podcast, where it's all about living life with passion. For all the latest news and updates, please subscribe online, thehiddenwhy.com. This is The Hidden Why.
Are you ready to discover your hidden why? To discover your life's purpose? Then jump onto thehiddenwhy.com and download my free discovery questionnaire. It's designed to help you connect with what's truly important in your life, and in doing so, create more freedom, fulfillment, and happiness. This is the Discovery Questionnaire. You can download it at thehiddenwhy.com under the Resources tab. Discover your hidden why.